Heyo everybody, Haku here with my read-through or live reaction for Omniscient Reader chapters 16, 17, 18, 19. We're doing those four because I'm still going by the recommendation that somebody spelled out that I put at the beginning of one of the recent videos. Also, by the time you're seeing this, the review for the first section will have come out. I still need to do a review of the second and third sections. So yeah, I'll be doing the reviews alongside these reactions where I'll be taking a more in-depth look at everything going on, and it also just helps refresh me as I'm reading, to go back through, to read in depth, to take notes and all that. So that'll really help me have a greater grasp on the series as we're going through it. But yeah, I'm excited to continue. I'm really excited for this one. So I loved the last video that I did because we had all this stuff that was in the belly of the ichthyosaur, and it was really good. But also, I really loved the Dokkaebi. It was so fun. But now that that deal is done, I'm excited for this because we ended on the cliffhanger of Dokja entering the next area. There's some sort of miasma, poison gas, some sort of something like that. And this is the second main, I believe this is the second main, I forget what they're called, scenario, I think. So I'm excited for that. I want to know what the rules of this next one are, and to see what this new area is like, because our first area was basically just trapped inside of the train car, and then we were trapped inside of the belly of the ichthyosaur with Dokja all alone. But now it's going to be cool, because I feel like we get to see more of an open area. I mentioned last time that I love these sort of urban apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic settings, so I'm really excited to see what this turns into. But yeah, let's see what the next stage of the story is. We're getting a content warning at the very beginning. And we see just a random street, some sort of charging monster, giant praying mantis. Alright, we get Rhino versus praying mantis, it looks like. A convenience store. And then just stealing as much as possible, or looting rather. Alright. And then the scenario area is highly contaminated. Hold your breath and quickly get underground. Oh yeah, I remember them saying that. This should be enough. I better get to safety. The item's effects will wear off soon. I wasted too much time changing clothes. That's what, at first I didn't want to say, oh, it's Dokja or something, because I was like, that is not what Dokja was wearing. Okay, so he changed clothes. We get an explanation. And we have item, the Elaine Monkey Lungs. Place in mouth to use, neutralizes deadly poison, duration 20 minutes. We have somebody calling for help. Oh. Well, we only have one monkey lung, so sorry about that. And then Dokja. There's still someone alive? And they're wearing a mask. Mask versus monkey lung, which is more effective. Help me. And she's cute, you gotta save her. And then Omniscient Reader. Episode 16, Chapter 4, Better to be a Hypocrite. And is he going to run? Oh no, okay, he's carrying her. I thought he was going to just run away. He's just going to run. Okay, so he's carrying her. Oksu Station was destroyed because it was above ground. The closest underground station from here is, oh gosh, would it just be Gumho? Would it just be Gumho? Gumho or Gumho? I don't know, station. Sorry, I don't know any Korean, basically. Alright. Damn it, it's closed off. Maybe between reading this and reading Tower of God, maybe I should be just taking time to learn Korean at this point. Damn it, it's closed off. How about the other side? He looks over. 4. Exit 4. Alright. 1, 2. He lifts it up. And then it looks like, oh, that's coming from inside. Oh no, that's the people inside. What the fuck? Open up. Alright. No, you can't come in here, get lost. I have an injured woman with me. The place is already overcrowded. There's no more room, there's no room for more people. That's none of my concern. That's strange. It's overcrowded. Did that ever happen in TWSA? And then, oh, somebody grabs onto his pipe, it seems like. Oh no, never mind. He's using the thing to lift it up. I thought somebody was going to grab it and just pull so that the shutter would close. They're yelling and running back from the doorway. You've entered a safety zone. Alright. Hold this in your mouth. You won't fully recover, but it'll at least neutralize the poison. Alright. But was there a character like this in TWSA? Chances are she probably never made it this far in the novel. And again, he's screwing up the timeline. The more he does this, the less helpful the novel's going to be. Should I take a look? Character profile. Over there, that's him. And we have a flash. Oh? Who the hell are you? Alright. We have a bunch of unintimidating looking old people. Alright. If you ask who I am, the Constellation, prisoner of the Golden Headband, frowns at the appearance of unwelcome guests. Dr. Kim. Dr. Kim, is that your name? Yes. He tries to speak like Yu Jung-hyuk. I wasn't asking for your name. Who the fuck are you? Look, isn't she? It's that woman from the minor group. Wasn't she supposed to have come back with you guys? Well, about that. Oh, did they abandon her? So that's what happened, you assholes. How dare you do that, without my permission? In the post-apocalyptic genre, there are always stereotypical villains. I'm sorry, Cholsu. You should have gone first. Alright? Cholsu, the name doesn't ring a bell. I don't remember him, so I guess he isn't anyone I should be worried about. I've always thought that lawlessness was a cliched way of depicting a post-apocalyptic world. Hand that woman over to us. Huh? What's that? It looks like food, Cholsu. Hey, you can leave that here too. I'll let you live, so scram. But real humans are even more evil than the cliches in the stories. It looks like something bad is about to happen. The Constellation, prisoner of the Golden Headband, is angered by the appearance of grunts. The Constellation demonic judge of fire is furious about the injustice. A bounty hunter scenario has been generated at the request of the Constellations. The Constellations said kick these guys' asses. Oh god. Not to me. You poor things. So, you decided to ignore my advice. But to them. Constellation, demonic judge of fire, looks forward to a righteous judgment. You prick. I'll teach you not to mess with us. I'll give you to a count of 3. Leave now or you're dead meat. Bounty hunt. Eliminate the grunts. Difficulty F. A group of grunts are interfering with the pacing of the story. Eliminate them within the given time limit, 5 minutes. And the penalty for failure and the reward are both questionable, which means it isn't death because, of course, we learned last time that it would specify that if it was. Or, I mean, I guess in the future there's always a chance there could be something that happens where they don't specify and they're like, guess what it was? It was death, and then somebody gets killed off. Like, that's possible. But, now we see this chick sitting in the corner as he's just punching people's faces in. Again, we saw he was knife-proof during, like, the first few chapters, so, like, Dokja's pretty OP at this point. At least for, like, low-level stuff. Who the hell is that guy? How's he still standing after taking all those blows? Does that prick have a supporting constellation? The sum of one's total stats, like stamina, strength, and agility, greatly affect the outcome of a battle. Currently, the sum of these stats for me is 33. But they're mostly in the single digits. Damn it, I can't move because he keeps aiming for the legs. Cholsu, meaning that even if they have a supporting constellation, the difference in stats will determine who comes out the victor. And we have character profile, Bang Cholsu, age 34, supporting constellation, Monarch of the Small Fries, personal attribute, Assault Captain, and it's common. Okay, so we're seeing rarities beside the personal attributes, I think. We saw Edgelord generic, and we see Assault Captain common, so I'm assuming those are rarities. And the personal skills are Dogfight and Bluff. and the stigma is threatened. Okay, so Monarch of the Small Fries, anybody who has that constellation gets threatened, because the stigma is based, again, I'm working out the rules of the game of this world, because the stigma is based on your constellation, and one of your personal skills is based on your attribute. So, Assault Captain either has Bluff or Dogfight as its, like, attached skill. Sort of like how Edgelord had Grimdark Awakening as its sort of attached skill that you automatically get as tied into that attribute. And he has really weak mana at level 2, but stamina and agility at 6 and strength at 7. And we know that Dokja's stamina is at least 10. Overall evaluation, a common small fry who was lucky enough to find a supporting constellation. He tends to overestimate his abilities in combat, and I'm not even going to try to guess at his supporting constellation right now because I don't know who Monarch of the Small Fries is. I can't think of anything really quickly off the top of my head. And we have supporting constellation Monarch of the... Are we just going to get an explanation of all the supporting constellations he could have chosen? Bang Chol-su of the Choldu gang. What? Do you know who I am? He's the bird brain from that Gumho station group in TWSA. According to the novel, he should have been killed by Jung Hyuk. Why is he still alive? Ah, I see, you're that type of guy. Looks like it's obvious you've killed quite a few people. I can tell that you and I are not all that different. Maybe. And then, okay. Oh, is this because Namun wasn't with Jung Hyuk, so he's changed the direction of the story? Perhaps. I could have saved them. Oh, he's thinking about all the people he let die. Be honest. And we're getting Namun again. You just wanted to watch them fight for their lives, didn't you? Murderer. Fourth wall is block the bluff of Bang Chol-su. Okay, so that was his bluff ability. And then he stabs his arm. He starts screaming, I don't think you should be running your mouth off like that. The constellation Monarch of the Small Fries is amused. The constellation Monarch of the Small Fries has gifted you 100 coins. Okay, so this is interesting. They mentioned the constellation specifically. Unfortunately for him, his supporting constellation, Monarch of the Small Fries, was infamous for not valuing its incarnations. I was going to finish him off quickly, but this changes everything. 2 minutes remaining until the scenario ends. Okay, so he's going to try to use this to his advantage. He's a masochist who only supports the biggest idiots, and enjoys watching them suffer at the hands of other incarnations. The constellation, Monarch of the Small Fries, is amused. Stop, please, let him go. Humans are weak. And then we see the girl again. How can humans who are so weak, and we see them beating up the old lady again, be so cold-blooded and cruel? Oh, so that's what happened, you assholes. How dare you do that without my permission? And is that a very, very dark hint? I was thinking that earlier, but I didn't say anything. Don't want YouTube to cancel me, so I won't go deeper than that unless the story does. The apocalypse is just an excuse to them. Why did you do it? Or is it in their instincts? Fuck. Just kill me already, you son of a bitch. Screw this fucked up world. I see. It's not because of his instinct or nature. There's despair in his eyes that was there even before the world had ended. Fuck you all to hell. Just like me. Maybe. We really aren't all that different. 10 seconds remaining until the sub-scenario ends. And he stomps him out. But in any case, the world has come to an end. Alright, the condition of the sub-scenario has been fulfilled. You've received 300 coins. The constellation Monarch of the Small Fries is satisfied and gives you 100 additional coins. Chol-su, how could you be so cold-blooded? And I have to adapt to this new world. He picks the girl back up. Take me to the others. So this is interesting. Also, the fact that this guy wasn't killed by Jung Hyuk means that he has changed the timeline to that degree that things have changed. And again, I think that part of changing the timeline to that degree is before we know that Yoo Jung-hyuk was with Namwoon and with Hyunsung, who was known for turning a blind eye to sort of bad stuff. But now, instead of being with those two, he's still with Hyunsung, but he's with Sang-ah, Mr. Han, and Gil-young, I think is the kid's name now. So he's with a different group now, so I wonder if that changes how he operates. I mean, he was ruthless enough to slaughter his whole car. We still don't know exactly what happened there. And if it's a situation where maybe he tried not to slaughter them the first time around, but this is his third time around, so he's just like, screw it, everybody burns. We still need to have some sort of backstory there, I feel like. Gosh, there was something else I'm forgetting here that I wanted to say. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. He was still ruthless enough to toss Dokja into the belly of the ichthyosaur. So we'll have to see. Either way, gonna move on to the next chapter. Wow, honestly, it feels like so much happened, and I just realized that was only one chapter. That was only our first chapter. So we still have a lot more to read for this video. So much happened though. So much happened. Okay. Let's get into chapter 17 though. We're seeing, it looks like, a map of the not all of it's translated, so I couldn't read all of it if I wanted to. But we see a train map. I do see up towards, you can see my cursor, right? We have Bulgwang there, which is where the train in the first where the train that they were on was headed towards. So we do know that. Again, I'll need to come back sometime and look at this, but it's not all translated, so I guess it's not all important. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Garak Market. Did we hear that before? That sounds kind of familiar for some reason. I don't know. I was trying to see if any of this makes sense for where we are right now. Just kind of skimming over it. No, I don't know. Either way, I do know they were on a train to Bulgwang at the beginning though. So, and there we have Gumho, which is where they're at or going now. All right, and we see the third exit to the metro, it seems. All right. It's the Choldu group. Someone's hurt. Can someone give us a hand? And they're all, oh, we have Dokja. My God, Dokja, Kim Dokja. And we have Sang-ah realizing that he's alive. We have Better to be a Hypocrite Part 2. And then, Dokja, you're okay. Oh, thank God. Thank God you're okay. Dokja, how are you? And even the kid hugs him, even though it's like you barely met this guy. I'm so sorry about what happened to you. I left you behind. It's okay. You had no choice. Thank God. Yoo Jung-hyuk was right. Yoo Jung-hyuk? Well, he said you were probably still alive. Where is Yoo Jung-hyuk? Well, he's not here right now. Yoo Jung-hyuk left the station yesterday. Ah, I get it now. The Choldu group members should have died at the hands of Yoo Jung-hyuk, but it seems they're still alive because he left the station in a hurry. Yoo Jung-hyuk's a regressor who relives his life over and over again. Sir, are you okay? He's in his third round right now, and has been reborn as a monster who monopolizes everything. He must have left without a backward glance to achieve his goal. But he's still someone who'd tie up any loose ends. What? How impatient. Just talking to myself. It's a force of habit. The constellation Secretive Plotter is pleased that you're talking out loud. Secretive Plotter is like, yes, I can follow what's going on here. Come to think of it, there's one person who's missing. Oh, Mr. Han. Everyone out of the way. Oh? We have people running up with weapons and surrounding them. You! Did Mr. Han take over the gang? A few days ago. Get him out of here. He's the worst of the worst. Downright evil, in fact. He shouldn't be here. Come on, Han. You should play nice. We're all survivors, after all. Pleased to meet you. You must be the new guy. You mind telling me your name? This guy has very long fingers. You mind telling me your name? Oh. I'm Choninho. Alright? Choninho. I've heard that name somewhere before. Kim Dokja. He has a supporting constellation, and is probably the leader of this group. It seems that the Choldu group works under him as well. He's probably going to make me pay for beating them half to death. The others who came with you told me that you fought the monsters and saved my men. What? Everyone, gather around. This brave new member has gathered food for us. Oh, it's food. Food, something to eat. Welcome to Gumho Station, Kim Dokja. And then, of course, he's playing it, so now Dokja's losing his food to this group of people. What the? So this is how it's going to be, is it? The Constellation secretive plotter is excited. There's a total of 86 people in Gunmo Station. Oh, 87, including you. And we have the stack machine busted open. That's fewer than I thought. Only the ones who were in the cabin and who were near the station survived. Nobody talks about it, but since everyone cleared the first scenario, everyone here survived by killing others. Everyone here is a murderer. Right now, Gunmo Station is divided into the major group and the minor group. The major group, and minor group. Trust me, the chairman's doing what he can. We'll be rescued soon. Mommy, I'm hungry. Just hang on. A little longer. We'll be rescued soon. It'll be okay. The government will do what they can, as expected of the young master of the Hangyong Corporation. Even when 100 murderers gather, they divide themselves into the strong and the weak. That's what humans are like. Did everyone think there was no other way? He's right, everyone. Don't lose hope. We'll leave this place. The distribution of food is decided by the major group, but since we're running low, we've been assigning people to go scavenge for food. Huiwon's part of our group, and she was assigned to... Who's Huiwon? The woman you saved. Her name is Huiwon. I am probably pronouncing that very incorrectly. To be exact, there were a few others who went too, but only those from the minor group who never returned. I thought about it too, like with GA, or I don't know how to pronounce her name, from the first few chapters when I was taking my review notes. I was like, it's very, very difficult to get names right, like pronounce names right from Korean written in English, because A, there's multiple different translations for the same name, like Lee, Yi, and E can all just be interchangeable. The same character, the same pronunciation in Korean can be written in English as Lee, Yi, or He, or E. So it's like, that's interchangeable. And Chun is another very, very common Korean last name, but it's like a lot of times spelled C-H-U-N in English, and sometimes C-H-U-N-G, but here I'm assuming it's the same characters for this guy, but they're spelling it C-H-E-O-N, so it's still Chung, probably. So again, it's difficult. So like, this makes me think, is this supposed to be Huiwon or Huiwon? Like from the way it's spelled in English, that's not phonetic. It doesn't tell me how it should be pronounced by how it's spelled in English. So I have no clue. To be exact, there were a few others who went too, but only those from the minor group never returned. I see. You didn't join the major group, Hyunsung. And like, again, that's like Hyunsung, not Hyun Seong. So it's like the way that it's pronounced isn't the way it's spelled necessarily. So I don't know. I'm sure they would have wanted you as a member of their group. I see what's going on here. Oh, that. I just thought I should be in the minor group. I don't know much about ethics or morality, but something didn't feel right about the major group. But I guess I'm a hypocrite for worrying about right and wrong after everything that's already happened. And then, it's better to worry about right and wrong as a hypocrite than not at all. Don't ever forget that. Dokja Kim. And then, just because the situation was unavoidable doesn't mean it didn't happen. Might I have a word with you? I think that is also a very good... Like, there are a lot of really good themes that are being explored with Dokja's character. That's another really good one, too, because he even called himself a hypocrite when helping Gil Young. And it's the sort of situation where he's right, even if it's hypocritical to be like, we have to worry about right and wrong after you've had to murder people. It's better to still think about right and wrong, even though you've had to murder people, because the game is kind of outside of your control. It's better to still worry about it, even though there's a bit of hypocrisy there because you've done bad things, than to just give up on worrying about right and wrong whatsoever, sort of like Nam Woon. And I guess that's showing because, like, we've had so much from the beginning just juxtaposition between Dokja and Nam Woon, and even after his death, constantly bringing him back up, that it's just continuing this juxtaposition between still caring about right and wrong, even though you're stuck in the survival game, or just saying, this is the rules of the survival game, I don't care about right and wrong, I'm just following the new rules of this game. So I really like that. Might I have a word with you? And it mustn't be forgotten that what happened can never be justified. I'm going to get straight to the point. Alright? Join our group. So, that's how it's going to be. I can offer you a high position. I hope you'll lead this group with me. And if I refuse, then... refuse. Now, that's funny. The thought hadn't even crossed my mind. You're a hero who saved people from the monsters. With your power, aren't you obligated to lead these people? That's an interesting idea. I see, so you're going to use me like that. I'm not talking about something grandiose. I'm asking you to cooperate for everyone's survival. Can't you see those poor people suffering? And we have all of the people from the minor group. Alright. I'd be like, okay, I'll lead the minor group, you lead the major group. We're both leaders. Should you have refused like that? Did you want me to accept the offer? No, of course not. I can't stop thinking about what Inho last said to you. Come find me if you have a change of heart. That'll never happen. We'll see about that. It's as he said, we'll see what happens. Anyway, it's dinner time. Aren't you all hungry? Tokja, you're pretty cool. Here, take one. Alright, and we see all the junk food he gathered. Really? Can we? Hey. And then they get confronted by people. Is it true that you're monopolizing the food? You're just going to monopolize the food for yourselves when you should be sharing with others? I heard other people went with you to get the food. Yeah, why would you take it for yourselves? Let Inho be in charge of the food, and you get your share like everyone else. The most dangerous type of person in an apocalyptic world isn't someone driven by despair like Bang Chol-su. Yes, I remember now. Choninho from Gumho Station. The truly dangerous type is the type that uses other people's despair as a fertilizer for power. Choose. Will you become a hero after sharing your food, or will you become a villain after monopolizing the food? Choninho. Alright. You've entered the second scenario area. Find and move to the location where the scenario will be activated. And then we end there. This is really, really good. There's a lot of really deep thematic stuff going on that I like a lot. I'm just still thinking about this here, because I feel like, I don't know, it's somewhat right to share, but I'd also be like, yeah, I got this food, screw you, you're free to go out there and try to get your own. Anybody is free to, because it's one of those things where it's like, even though he is the Omniscient Reader, even though he can, know what's happening ahead of time, kind of, and that puts him at an advantage over these other people, he also isn't completely special. It's not like he's just broken overpowered. He's just using what he learns to play the system to his advantage. And though the other people don't have the benefit of having read this ahead of time, they could kind of do the same. They could, anybody could have said, oh, kill any living creature, let me smash these eggs and get my stats up. Any of these people could have done that with a little bit of thought. Because that's not something that was written into the story. That's just something he came up with during the fight against Nam Woon. Because they weren't even in the same train car as where this stuff happened. So it's just sort of the thing where it's like, it's not as if these people couldn't just do what Dokja did. So yeah, I don't know. I guess let's move on to the next chapter though. There's a lot happening in this read through. And it's also interesting how even my own opinion on the morality of it, even my own like, oh, what would I do in this situation, is different depending on the situation. Like if I was part of this group and they needed people to scavenge for food, I would be like, okay, I will go scavenge for food. And then I would share the food among the people when I got back, because that is something that, even though I went to scavenge it, it's something that I sort of brought upon myself for the group. Whereas if I came into this group with food already, I don't know if I would be as willing. I mean, I'm like stupidly too nice. I am nice to a fault, so I would still probably share the food with everyone. But if I went and scavenged food, I wouldn't even think a second thing about the morality of it. I'd be like, yeah, I'll just give food out to everyone. That's what I went and scavenged it for. I didn't scavenge it for just me. I did it for everyone. But if I came in with food that I already had and they're like, hey, share that equally among everyone, then even though I would do it, I would be a little bit more upset about it, because I'd be like, well, I didn't go out and scavenge this for the sake of everyone, not just myself. And they're acting entitled to something that I already had on my own. So even though I would still do it, even though I would still share the food either way, my opinion on sharing the food would be different depending on whether it was food that I came into the group with or food that I went to get when like already a part of the group. So it's interesting how even my own like morality and how I would feel about approaching the situation would change depending one way or the other. So it's interesting. It's really interesting. Let's read chapter 18 though. Let Inho redistribute the food. Get your share just like everyone else. Don't hog all the food. Now, Dokja, it's time for you to choose. Influencing these people is a breeze for me. Now do you see that you must do as I say here to survive? Everyone, please calm down. There must have been a misunderstanding. Dokja's already agreed to join our group. We'll collect and redistribute the food as we always have. He'll have no choice but to play along. He has also promised to work alongside us to stop. And then, of course I'll share the food. There we go. But not for free. And then everyone reacts. And then, better to be a hypocrite, part 3. What do you mean not for free? Are you going to sell us the food? The eyes of a few constellations sparkle with excitement. The constellation secretive plotter scoffs. That's right, I'm no charity worker, and I don't trust these people. Then for how much? Is money okay? No. I'll only be accepting coins. Wow. Wait, Dokja, is this really a good idea? Isn't 50 coins per food item too expensive? I'll be charging you 10 coins per food item from now on as well. A few constellations are relieved that you're not an idiot. A few constellations have gifted you 100 coins. All of these super chats he's getting as well. He's probably racked up an insane amount of coins to dump into stats and items. Alright. It's only right. I'll start paying immediately. Oh, I don't need free food. And we see, Huiwon. My name is Jun Huiwon. Thank you for helping me earlier. It was nothing. And Sanga, Hyunsung, good, get a hold of yourselves. This is no time to be sulking. He risked his own life to retrieve these foods. Don't tell me you were planning to leech off him like the rest of them. Oh. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking straight. I also don't want any freebies. I'll pay immediately too. If you insist. You know how to trade coins, right? Yes, I learned a few days ago. Touch your index finger to mine. Think of how many coins you want to exchange and... Li Young has paid you 20 coins. Huh? You gave me 10 more. That's for the chocolate from this morning. I guess Gil Young's better than those shameless adults. A few constellations show an interest in the incarnation Li Gil Young. It's actually the major group that's monopolizing all the food here. Everyone else is being fed and bred and then dragged off to scavenge for food like cattle to the slaughter. It was just like I was this morning. Everyone does seem to have no problems with what the major group is doing. I agree. That's why your declaration's very meaningful, Dokcha. But don't you think you should sell them the food for 10 coins each, like you did to us? I don't think anyone's looking to buy with those prices. I know you gave us a special discount, but, well, we'll wait and see. And then we have everyone sleeping. Why don't you get some shut-eye, Dokcha? I'll keep watch. No, I have some stuff to take care of. Stuff to take care of? Excuse me. And then they're approached. We cut to the morning. Wow. You've sold out? What a joke, those two-faced bastards. She's not as frail as I thought she was. Sorry about that jump cut. I sneezed. I probably had to cut it out because I don't want that to be loud in the middle of the video. Ugh. It's like my eyes are all watery now. Ugh, just sneezed. Sorry. Sorry about that. Continuing. But it wasn't just the minor group who had bought the food overnight. May I have everyone's attention, please? We'll be limiting the distribution of food from today to 3 biscuits per person. What? 3 biscuits? How are we supposed to survive off that? But the search party gets much more food than that. Did you think we wouldn't know? That's correct. You're always welcome to join the search party if you want more food. But hardly anyone makes it back when they join the search party. Only the Choldu gang members make it back alive. You're practically asking us to go out and die. Well, how about you go out and scavenge for food yourselves then? I mean, he's got a point. I mean, these people are just expecting food from them and not, like, willing to go out and scavenge. They want them to risk their lives. Well, there's still a way for you to get more food even if you don't join the search party. I really didn't want to do this, but Dokcha over there taught me a valuable lesson yesterday. Oh, really? It was the major group who bought over half the food I scavenged. They did pay for it in full, though. Dokcha, you've just dug your own grave. You'll regret it. Dokcha was right, everyone. How can anything be free in this world? You must prove your worth if you want to eat. We will exchange the food we have, with anything that we deem useful. And then Choninho has activated the skill Insight level 2. This is how the world works, after all. So, this is how it's going to be. Thank you for teaching us a valuable lesson, Dokcha. It's all because of him. I was wondering why these people were acting like such idiots. He had the Insight skill. Well, the major group's just monopolizing the food again. Weren't you trying to promote transactions between people to weaken the power of the major group? That's right. I wanted them to stand up for themselves. Her insight is impressive. Then you shouldn't have sold the food to the major group. Nothing's changed. But it did. I have more coins. What? 1,450 coins to be exact. Feels like he should have a lot more than that. Unless he's just been spending a bunch of it. What? Just what are you planning, Dokcha? Sangha, can we really trust him? I trust him. So much pressure. He left some food for yourself, though, right? No, I've sold all of it. What? Are you sure we can trust him? And then somebody pokes him. Huh? That's Gil-young. For me? I'm fine, you have it. Oh, and while we're on the topic, you know the foods you bought yesterday. Eat them all now. I strongly recommend that you finish them by the end of today. Oh, does he know when the next test is going to start, and maybe that's why he's planning this? Like, it doesn't matter how much food the other group has if the test is going to start, and the coins are going to help him with the test. That might be it. Or the scenario. I keep calling it a test, but you get my point. I strongly recommend that you finish them by the end of the day. 200 coins each. There's no way we'd have that many. Then get lost. Alright. And we see Gomho Tayaksu. And he's looking down the tracks. Everyone who went that way died. Gangsters or not. You're not thinking of going, are you? And then, did I thank you for saving my life yesterday? I think you did. Well, let me thank you again, just in case. That man who walks with a limp over there, he's the one who tried to rape me. Okay, they're just coming out and saying it, okay. He's the guy I beat up yesterday. Don't lay a finger on him. Okay. He's mine. And then we see... Okay, again, I was going to say even before all this that she's one of my favorite characters already, but I like that she has the insight to see a little bit through what Dokja's doing, but also she survived out there, and Dokja was mentioning that she was interesting as a character when you tried to look into her. So I wonder, I feel like she's going to have some sort of special skills or abilities or importance. I was almost thinking, because we had it mentioned before that there were only a few types of a certain person, like a sage or something like that. I was thinking maybe she could be something like that. Like maybe not exactly that, but something else that's like a special thing. I don't know, the way she's being written is like they're like the authors even like having her stand out when we saw the group with Hyunsung and Sangha and everything earlier. She was written to stand out from them. So I feel like there's something special going on. She would have ended up dead if it wasn't for me. She's the type constellations would be interested in. I wonder if she has a character profile. Alright, we have Jung Huiwon, age 27, no supporting constellations, but 3 are interested. Her personal attribute is crouching figure, which is common, so it is a common one. And then we have her skills are demon slaying and kendo. She has no stigma because she hasn't picked a constellation yet. And her stats are stamina 4, strength 4, agility 7, and mana 4. General evaluation, as a crouching figure, she has limitless potential. Information about her attribute cannot be viewed as it has not yet awakened. Okay, so crouching figure is common, but I guess crouching figure, I was like, does that mean she has some sort of stealth abilities? But no, I think crouching figure just means that her attribute hasn't awakened yet. Interesting. So like you can't view her attribute because it hasn't been awakened. So I guess crouching figure is basically just a way of saying like unknown or undecided. She hasn't like awakened to a specific attribute yet, is what I'm getting from that statement. What? Did you just see that? They've taken the women and the elderly. Wait, Huiwon, what are you going to do? Stop them. If they join the search party, there's no way they'll make it back alive. But they'll starve to death if they stay here. Her personal attribute is crouching figure. It may not sound special, but this is a rare super evolutionary attribute in TWSA. Then am I just supposed to watch? Yes, for now at least. What's that supposed to mean? Crouching figure is a common attribute, but it has the potential to evolve into a rare or even legendary attribute based on the incarnation's experience. The Berserker Butcher, who was one of the top 100 incarnations of TWSA, started off with the crouching figure attribute. What I'm saying is that stopping them won't change a thing. Even if we stop them now, the same thing will happen over and over again because of the food shortage. I thought she was just an extra, but I should think about having her as a companion. And again, like, Dokja's, like, making a very good point here. Like, again, these people, how are they going to survive this? We're only on the second scenario, and they're expecting other people to go out and get food for them. It's like, in this specific apocalypse, you just can't do that. Like, you can rely on others for some things, but you also need to at least be able to rely on yourself in some way. Because it's like, what's the point of sacrificing food to them if they're not going to pass the scenarios, and if they're not willing to go search for food themselves, which means that we're losing people who are willing to go search for food for people who aren't willing to go search for food. And we have to remember, too, that they're all people who have killed someone as well. So it's like no person left here, even though they could have killed a bug, whatever, you know. But like what Dokja was getting at, no person here is innocent anymore. One thing that bothers me is that she has the demon slaying skill along with the crouching figure attribute. Alright, she could end up becoming an indiscriminate murderer. Huiwon, the root problem here is food, isn't it? Sorry, hiccup, isn't it? I guess it is. Then what if we were to get rid of the root of the problem? What do you... He should be here any minute now. And then... Okay, so yeah, he was planning for the second scenario to start because we have the crackling that happens when the Dokkaebi shows up. And he sparks into existence. It's a Dokkaebi, and the people start freaking out. Hello, how have you all been doing? Dying of boredom? You see, the Dokkaebi who was in charge of this channel is currently being disciplined. Disciplined? Thinks Dokja. Oh, so Dokja isn't going to have the, was his name Byung? Or Byung, I think? Dokja isn't going to have the advantage of having the one he worked with be here. So I will be in charge of the current scenario, and we have a new Dokkaebi. Cute! And it has new horn designs. It's not Byung. But everyone, how is it that you look so peaceful? Damn it, Byung. What the hell is he done, or what has he done with the scenario? It's so cute. And they snap. An additional penalty has been added to the scenario. Foods may no longer be stockpiled. All foods will be removed. What's going on? The food... You should have worked harder to complete the scenario. Oh yeah, because they never went to search out the place that was supposed to start the scenario. Instead, they just sat down and stockpiled food. Stuffing your face isn't going to get you anywhere, right? You worthless earthling scum. And then they snap again, and it all vanishes. Now everyone, let's get the party started. Like I said, I didn't expect it to happen like this, but like I said, once the scenario starts, food might not be important anymore, but the coins are going to help. Like, the coins are always going to help as part of the game. The food. And also, without the food to hold over them, now the major group doesn't really have any power anymore. Alright? This is more like TWSA. An additional penalty has been added to the scenario. The category Survival Fee has been added. 100 coins will be withdrawn daily at midnight as a survival fee. You will die if you have insufficient funds to pay the survival fee. The survival fee will be collected until the main scenario is cleared. Okay, so this basically puts a time limit on them that you have to find out what the scenario is and complete the scenario before you run out of coins. So it gives them a reason to go complete the scenario instead of just saying, I'm not going to do that and hiding with food. Now they have to go do it before they run out of coins, and Dokja has bought himself at least 2 weeks. You have entered the second scenario area. Find and move to the location where the scenario will be activated. And then we end this chapter. Alright, so that's the end of this chapter. I think we've got one more, right? We're going to do chapter 19 as well. Time for chapter 19, and it is kind of weird. That feels like it was a really good place to end for now, but I'm going by the list of where to end for the first 30 or so chapters that one of you gave me, and it said to go 16 through 19, so it's weird. That seemed like a good place to end, so I wonder why they said 16 through 19. But either way, let's read chapter 19 and see what we get. And we see exit 4, it looks like. Gather around, everyone. I have an emergency announcement to make. And we see the major group. Given our current situation, it looks like we'll need more people for the search party. From this point on, we won't be sharing any food with people who refuse to join the search party. Damn it. I didn't expect there to be an additional penalty. Could he have known that this would happen? My biscuit! That's why I told you to eat them. No, that's not possible. That's probably what Inho is thinking right now. You've successfully read the mind of Choninho. Your understanding of Choninho has increased. He may be suspicious of me, but he can't be certain that I knew about the food penalty beforehand. Did you know this would happen, Dokja? I didn't know something like this would increase my understanding of him. I had a suspicion that it would happen. I thought of what the Dokkaebi would do to make us suffer the most. But I didn't expect them to add a survival penalty. And then TWSA would definitely pull something like this, but this wasn't in the original novel. Did the contract I signed with Be Young affect the story? Again, he is just screwing up the story so much that it is becoming incredibly unhelpful at this point. I mean, knowing the world in general has been the biggest help. Like, knowing the world in general and how the game works, like with the coins, the items, the different constellations, what they do, that helps. But other than that, it's like he's basically just screwed up the story so much that it's like the actual story just isn't helping anymore, basically. Dokja, what do we do now? Should we join the search party too? No, we won't go above ground. That place is a death trap. But we need to go there for food. We'll need to find a new food source since the world around us has changed. Sorry? And then, wait, Dokja, don't tell me. That's right. We're going monster hunting. Alright, monster hunter time. And we have Warden of the Dark Part 1. So again, yeah, I wonder why Chapter 19. You're going to follow the rails. Alright. I guess we do need a team who will work on completing the scenario. Good luck. And I wonder, what is the actual scenario, though? We still don't know, do we? Squad. Also, gee, I thought Sang-ah was very, very pretty, but geez, Huiwon is just gorgeous. Holy crap. That jerk, does he think he's the leader? I thought he'd lash out at us for not joining the search party, but I guess he feels reassured that I'm staying away from his group. Your understanding of Chonin-ho is increased. Your understanding of Chonin-ho has passed a threshold level. Now that I think about it, every time I make a favorable impression on a character, or earn their trust, or guess what they're thinking, the level of understanding seems to increase. I've probably done the latter. Thanks to that, I can read his mind and know his feelings with the increased level of understanding. Chonin-ho is suspicious of your intentions. Could you perhaps let a member of our group join your party? Of course, there's no way he would have left us, there's no way he would have let us off that easy. We'd also like to know how the scenario can be cleared. Oh? Yeek! And they sent Han with him. Corpses! Sang-ah, it's dangerous here. Hold my hand. You look more scared than I am. No, I'm fine. Are you sure about this? He's no threat to us, so it should be fine. What about you, Huiwon? You haven't even fully recovered yet. You should be worried about Gil Young, not me. And they spelled Gil Young differently. Like, I guess this is how Young would be pronounced in English, but they changed it from the usual EO that they've been doing phonetically, so it's just difficult. I mean, it's difficult when, like I can't blame the translators for this specifically, when it's like, that's how people have been writing Korean words in Roman letters for a long, long time, but it's just like, phonetically, it just doesn't help. Phonetically, the spellings are like not how the pronunciation goes. The road ahead is dangerous. We're not just going to charge ahead, are we? I've been worried about that as well. It might be a good idea to send Gil Young and the women back. Listen, Hyunsung, I may not be as good as you are, but I still know how to fight. I used to practice kendo. But you two must be forgetting something. A few days ago, the world we lived in changed completely. Saying women and children are physically weak is prejudice. Anyone can become strong when they increase their stats. Gil Young, show them. Oh, because he can see their stat bars has Gil Young just been grinding. And then he puts his hands on the ground and there's a spark of energy. Oh? What is this then? And it leads them somewhere. He's got that clairvoyant spell? Oh no, never mind, it's attached to the bug. My gosh, what is that? Damn it, it's a cockroach. My attribute is called Bug Collector. I can have simple conversations with insects. Character Legal Young has activated their interspecies communication skill. It says there's nothing up ahead, so I feel like leveling that skill would be pretty OP. It says there's nothing up ahead. We'll be safe for at least another 100 steps. Thank you for your concern, but I didn't come all the way here to be a burden to you all. Oh, sure. By the way, it looks like human corpses aren't the only corpses here. No wonder this place reeks of blood. Alright. The road up ahead looks pitch black as if there was a wall blocking the way. Oh? And it's like got this data effect on it? Oh, is this the area where the scenario activates? A new sub-scenario has arrived. Sub-scenario hunting for food, difficulty E, clear conditions, hunting cook a monster that you can consume as food. Time limit none, rewards 500 coins, penalty for failure unknown. Alright, and we see a bunch of dead monsters. Yikes, a monster. Tier 9 subterranean ground rat. Who could have done this? Ground rats live underground, are pack hunters, and are known to be extremely persistent in hunting their prey. It won't be easy to move about since the tunnels that connect the different stations are full of monsters. But, who else but Yu Jung-hyuk? Won't these be enough for us to clear the scenario? The clear condition said that we had to hunt, so probably not. I guess you're right. How are we supposed to cook them? Over a fire? Huiwon, you said you were good at kendo, right? Well, I'm not good to be exact. Yeah, buy a sword from the Dokubi shop. Get a weapon. Oh? It feels like we've traveled back in time to the Stone Age. Okay, they are just monster hunting it. They're just using parts as weapons from the rats. They'll need to be sharper, so try sharpening them on a rock lying around nearby. You've successfully obtained weapons using your intellect. A few constellations are interested in this primitiveness of humans. The constellations have gifted you 100 coins. I know what to do because TWSA had a detailed chapter on butchering monsters. You seemed clumsy, but you've somehow managed to make yourself a fine weapon. All of you have some coins left, right? They gift coins for something like this? Invest all the coins you have into strength, stamina, and agility, only leaving behind enough to pay the survival fee. This may sound cruel, but I don't expect all of you to survive. But still, try to keep yourselves alive. I would give myself a couple days, at least a little bit of a buffer there, just in case. But interesting. Also, I don't know if I would neglect mana unless this is like a FromSoft game where there's always one dead stat. I don't know if I would neglect mana like that. Now we have some cracking and growling. Please. Sub-scenario, hunting for food has begun. Alright. And now we get to see the characters actually fighting. They're being attacked by more monsters. Alright. Damn it, I lost one. And then we have Gil Young with his little rat head mace, bonking it. Alright. And then Sang-ah stabbing it. It's so cool though, because like theoretically you could just be Gil Young and just put every single point into strength and just be like bonking through walls, right? And then, because I mean, if leveling your stamina to 10 made Dokja like knife proof, then just like dumping into strength, I would assume, could make you really powerful. They're not. Oh? Doing so bad. Are you alright? And then they're running over. My gosh, how many did you kill, Dokja? 4. Darn it, I only got 2. I killed 3 of them, says Hyunsung. 3. I didn't use my full power, but that's only one less than me, and I've invested a fortune into my stats. And now we're seeing his profile again. Hyunsung Lee, 28, Master of Steel, soldier who turned a blind eye to injustice, common. And we have Bayonet level 2, Camouflage 1, Patience 1, Sense of Justice 1, and Weapons Proficiency 2. Stigma, Great Mountain Push we've seen before, and his stats are Stamina 12, Strength 9, Agility 9, and Mana 6. Wow, his stats are solid. Hyunsung Lee's okay, so all attributes can evolve then. So his soldier who turned a blind eye is close to evolving. The character trusts and regards you highly. This character is supporting constellations cautious of you. Starter pack is currently being used. Okay, interesting. Also, Master of Steel, like I said before, I don't think we know exactly who it is yet. The only, like, I thought maybe it was like a smithing god, and the only ones I know were like Vulcan, Hephaestus, or is it Ogun? Yeah, Ogun is the Yoruba one. But maybe I should look up if there's like a Korean or a Japanese like smithing god, because maybe that could be what it is, but who knows. It seems like the cultures that they're drawing from are extremely wide so far when it comes to these, from just like the 2-3 that we know of. But either way, starter pack. The starter pack is a premium package incarnations can use only when the average of their overall stats is below level 10. It increases the level of each stat by 1 and grants incarnations the skill weapons proficiency, which is very useful when they're starting out. I envy him. No wonder he's strong. It looks like Master of Steel is taking quite a liking to Hyunsung. So how are we supposed to cook these? I don't think we can eat them raw. We can't eat them now, but I'm sure we'll find a way. Alright. And then, did my answer sound too nonchalant? Hey, I've always wanted to ask you this. Tokja, do you perhaps know something about the situation we're in? Alright, so they're all noticing. This is how the regressors must have felt in the novel. Some of them claimed that they just had a hunch, or just lied like I lied to Yoo Jun-hyuk. From the reader's viewpoint, the best way to handle a situation like this was... The Constellation Secretive Plotter looks forward to your decision, so I wonder, the Constellations can't know, correct? Only TLS 123 should know, nobody else should know, right? Unless Secretive Plotter is TLS 123, but I don't think so. But it could be. Several constellations are looking forward to your answer. And then Han yells, "Oh," and we have a grab. To keep putting yourself in situations where you don't have to answer any questions. Well done, Mr. Han. Help me! And he's getting dragged away. The Constellation Secretive Plotter nods in agreement. Here, grab onto this. And he grabs onto Sanga's weapon, and she gets pulled away as well. The Constellation Prisoner of the Golden Headband is upset by the near-certain cliffhanger. And of course, I'm assuming that's just a meta line, because the webtoon has a bunch of those that people in the comments have been pointing out. And then everyone's reactions. Damn it. I just knew he'd get us into trouble. Alright. And then we have this, and then the end. Okay. So we're cliffhanging with that. I think that's a good cliffhanger. I think that's also a good place to end. I think maybe whoever said to end here, because it's a nice cliffhanger, and also because like this chapter was just a rat hunting chapter with some nice new information. It wasn't like this crazy deep story stuff like the first 3 that we read. It was more just like tacking on with this monster hunting adventure with more like building of the characters for whatever comes next. So it's fine to just tack it on at the end because it kind of stands on its own, rather than me having to read through this before getting into whatever the next chunk of the story is for the next read through. So I guess it makes sense in that way. But yeah, this was possibly my funnest Omniscient Reader read through yet. I really, really like these chapters. I love the world. I love this setup. Though I love it, I kind of want to be above ground more. I kind of want to be above ground, seeing the city, seeing different areas, because so far we've had the inside of a train, and then we had the brief glimpse up on the bridge of some other things, but then we're inside the belly of the ichthyosaur. Then we have a brief glimpse of like this city and whatever, and then we're down in a tunnel. We're down in like, what is it, like the metro or whatever, and down now into this tunnel. So, or is there a word that I feel like there's a word that I wanted to say, but I'm forgetting it. Yep, can't think of it off the top of my head. Oh well, yeah, I don't know. I kind of want a little bit more variety. I want to see a little bit more of an exciting location, because we've just been stuck inside these very confined places. I just want to open up the story a bit more. But either way, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment on there too. Tell me what you thought of these chapters, my first thoughts and reaction to them. Subscribe for more Omniscient Reader, much more on the channel. Like I said, I have reviews for the past sections coming, plus more read-throughs. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. Just ask and I can give you a link to it. If you'd like to help support the channel on Patreon to help me keep making videos, it's patreon.com/HakuofTheTubes, or a link will be in the description. If you would like to help me help support the channel the same way by becoming a channel member rather than a patron, you can just hit join and become a channel member here on YouTube right below the video. Huge thank you to people who are already patrons and members. Thank you to chosen regulars Etchy Zero, Evan Holly, and Remorsefuls, Magical Girl, FR Nono, Cherryton Student, Elsa the Storyteller, and David Langstaff, and Slayer Candidate SG. Huge thank you to all of them for supporting, and huge thank you to all of you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.